Hi, my name is Jennifer Tartaglione, and I also was a volunteer for the Jessica Lunsford Foundation. Also worked with many organizations having assisted on missing persons case. My story, I will enclose that information below. Having worked on these as a volunteer and assistant, I learned firsthand the hardship of finding out that phone call, having worked with families of missing children and missing adults. It's all too common. It's obviously become an epidemic in some cases, like we're looking at right now at the missing DC girls. And the primary targets of these missing children cases and the assaults that occurred in it. You know, every once in a while you get a good story, and I thought about Operation Home Plate, where a lot of these kids, if they make it home to home plate, it's a miracle. So what we're asking you is to support us by leaving a place setting for that missing child, that missing person, or that family member that's suffering, grieving the loss of maybe their children. Operation Home Plate, it's just more than just a plate, but it's just a start. If you know the story about Jessica Lunsford and why Jessica Lunsford's law was enacted because of her attack that had occurred in Florida, Jessica was just a little girl. She was 9 years old. In fact, when I think about Jessica Lunsford, I think about myself. I think about all the kids I know, most of them just playing outside. John Cooey was a convicted child molester who had not only abducted Jessica, but raped and murdered her. And oftentimes I think back to the time of 2009 when I was volunteering. I had no idea the impact until I personally was affected by it. And having dealt with this case alone, it troubled me so much. But it even goes further back than that. We were very fortunate as a family when my two sisters were abducted. Well, we didn't know if they were abducted, but for 2 weeks it was a mystery. In cases like that, there's a lot of uncertainty, questions that aren't asked. Families don't know. All we know is just pure chaos, and it's been like that for many of us who survived a situation like that. A lot of times kids run away, they're afraid, there might be problems at home, whatever the circumstances are. What we want to see is these kids get home safely. So a lot of times what kids think is that that's the alternative, that's the option. They don't have an option, or maybe they don't know somebody, but Operation Home Plate is going to take the place of that. And if you put a place setting for some of those kids, they will understand. We want to get this message out to those kids that anytime there's a block parent sign, which is obviously only licensed in certain states, and I do not believe that these programs exist, but we are trying so hard to get that block parent program back as a result of missing persons cases that have gone undetected, or information has just kind of led detectives and police on a cold trail. But we really need the support of the community, and I couldn't think of a better place to start than start here on YouTube and at Patreon. What we want to do is take a creative approach to how we can help find these missing children and bring them home. And we need your support. By you supporting Operation Home Plate, you can be creative, you can draw on the plates, you could do paper plates, whatever, but you can hang them on trees, you can put them in your yard, you can, as a sign of solidarity to help find these missing children. There are so many families right now that are personally affected, and not only would you show your support, but you're going to also support the families that are suffering in silence. There's no reason that any family member should be suffering this way, but that's why we want you to help us and support Operation Home Plate and bring them home.